what we're going to talk about is a leaf or a plant that's called Moringa. Okay. And they have many names for it: Moringa, drumstick leaf. So it's sometimes called the miracle plant. So if you're going to be here and you're going to actually want to watch and know what this is about, stick on, because I'm going to introduce some of the miracle benefits of the drumstick leaf. Okay. Now, this leaf looks a little big in this photo, but it's actually a very, very tiny leaf. Okay. And it comes off the drumstick tree. Okay. The drumstick is a very long fruit that is traditionally put in a lot of South Indian curries like sambar and stuff like that. But the leaf is an extremely potent food. Okay. And now you can just see that what this leaf just contains. It's just amazing to see what something like this actually contains. And you can see there's a whole plethora of these things out there, and it's fantastic. I mean, to see how this is all come together. So you can see that there is quite a lot of protein. Okay, and just imagine that it is a class A protein, which means it contains all the 9 amino acids that the body needs. And in a vegetarian source, I think this is one of the most potent foods to actually have. So it's something good you can have. Now, fiber is extremely important because fiber plays a big role in your gut health. So there's quite a density of fiber in that. And of course, you can see there's a plethora of minerals right down all the way. And zinc is becoming so important in people's food today. Vitamin C, and there's the whole vitamin B spectrum out there. Okay. And iron. Okay. And it has iron. There's a lot of things that, we always wonder about iron deficiency. It's very, very strong and rich in iron. So as you can see that all the chemical names and some of the common names that you have out there, and trust me, these are a lot of things that you need. Okay. And while most of it may not be, may not be the exact quantity you need in a day, but just imagine a food like this packed with so much of stuff. If you look at it, almost looks like a multivitamin capsule. Just look at what all there is in that. Okay. And to add to that, the amount of fat that it has inside is actually very, very small. Okay. So it's a great source of vitamin C. And though it tastes bitter when you eat it, so the way you combine and make it is kind of important. So you're going to have to find out a way of how you can eat. Usually, typically, they'll put it into a curry so that the bitterness kind of dissipates by itself. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So now, one thing that's really good about Moringa is not just that it has all these kind of enriched minerals and vitamins in this. Moringa has antibacterial, antifungal qualities. Okay. Now, these things help you keep your skin protected, and it also helps you have better hair growth. Okay. So it's very good because it helps you hydrate your skin. And when your skin is hydrated, it tends to look a little more glowy and better. Okay. And of course, because of the components, there's a lot of toxins that we face in the environment. And as we talked about in another video previously about, what's the amount of toxins that and the pollution that's there in the air, and even things that come out from chemical products. Okay. So protein being very important, it helps keep your skin cells or the dermal cells from damage. Now, damage is caused by like heavy metals like mercury and cadmium. They're around. And you'll find that sometimes they even put this in skincare products. Trust me, because these help break down, because sometimes these even get into the product itself, like lead, mercury and things. Somehow they find their way into any of these, and not only in just skin products, but they also find themselves even in foods. So Moringa is turning out to be kind of a great substance to add to a lot of things, not just eat. Okay. Now, it definitely has a lot of antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Now, you know that um, whenever you get into, let's say, an attack by a bacteria or you get an injury, there's always going to be the body trying to stop, arrest anything from getting worse. And that's when you get a lot of inflammation. Okay. And there's a lot of cortisol that comes in and a whole lot of biochemical uh, cycles take place. Now, this is going to help you reduce it because it has a good amount of vitamin C. There is beta carotene, which is the precursor to vitamin A. So we'll talk about how that's going to help later. Polyphenols that we talked about, which you get in vinegars and wines, have a lot of benefits. Okay. And there was another video, if you didn't see it, was about quercetin and, how effective and what quercetin can do. Okay. So chlorogenic acid and things like that. So these actually give you a lot of benefit in terms of fighting, all the oxidants that get into your system. And it breaks away free radicals because vitamin C will actually break down all those free radicals and prevent them from getting attached to good cells. Okay. And when they get attached to good cells, the good cells become slightly, defective. Now, it also helps you promote your heart health. Okay. Because of all the various components that are there in it, it becomes quite obvious that it's going to promote even your heart health because quercetin and the vitamins that are there are actually going to make a lot of difference in your circulatory system and therefore definitely help improve your heart health and especially help the the oxygenation of your heart muscles will improve. Now, what is kind of interesting is that it also stabilizes your mood. Okay. And it also enhances your neurotransmitters. Now, there is an amino acid called tryptophan. Okay. Now, this is very beneficial in maintaining, that there is a good kind of conductivity happening between the neurotransmitters. So, not only that, the production of serotonin, which is a hormone that actually gives you a kind of a joy and it's really important. Gives you gives you kind of a very happy kind of feeling. Okay, and serotonin is a brain chemical that keeps the functioning of the brain in let's say a more ecstatic mood. Okay, and so this helps that. Now, because of the dietary fibers and a lot of things that you find there, they actually stabilize blood sugar levels. And in terms of people who are battling with type 2 diabetes, this is something very essential to have in your diet. It's an extremely good item to have, and it's all natural. So uh, it's a great substance to have. But beyond this, I'll tell you in my own experience, the most effective item to have in case you have any acidity or a kind of a funny stomach, this is the most effective. Okay, because it actually can reduce and kill the some of the bacteria that lives on your cell wall. Okay, and some of these are, they live on stomach acid. When there's more stomach acid, these guys become even more stronger. And this lines your stomach, and not only does it line it, if your stomach gets pitted because of the acids and the bacteria working on it, it will actually seal off that component. Now, what's the issue of having a perforated stomach is that this bacteria can actually slip into your bloodstream. And when they slip into the bloodstream, what happens is they find themselves attaching themselves to free calcium that floats in the blood. Okay, so it becomes like a lifeboat for them. And what happens to these things, they go and attach themselves to the calcium and starts to stick to your artery walls. And there's a lot of, then you know what happens, right? Then everything starts accumulating and it starts to narrow down your arteries. Now, I'm not saying it will happen overnight, but this is something you can do at a natural level and prevent, bacteria from getting into your system through the stomach wall and even through the intestine. Okay. So it's something that I think you should have just for one of this. Now, it promotes the liver function because it helps maintain the glutathione levels in your system. Okay. course, it improves, enhances your eyesight for a whole lot of reasons. As you know, that there are so many components in it, and it definitely helps improve your eyesight. It improves your immunity because you now have better gut health. It kind of helps prevent cancer because there's a lot of antioxidants, and so the free radicals don't get out. So it won't fight cancer, but it'll definitely prevent you from getting, something which you shouldn't get in at a funny stage, what you want to call it. Okay, and now that since it contains a lot of iron, it is one of the best things to give somebody who is anemic. Okay, we can make moringa soup. You just have to, grind it in a food processor and then just cook it, and give it. Maybe you can put a little cream or something and just flavor it. Fantastic. Now they've also been experimenting using this liquid to actually use as a disinfectant in toilets and things like that. So there's a lot of news coming about people actually making biodegradable detergents and cleaners, and this helps kill a lot of bacteria and fungus. It won't kill every fungus in the world, but it is effective against quite a few of them. And they typically say that this is something that you can use to actually just paste onto a floor and wash it off, and it can do that. It also helps people with asthma because it helps clear out the pathways in the lungs. Okay, it helps decongest it. So anybody with asthma, it's a good aid if you have asthma. Now they also say that it improves your libido. Okay, and obviously because of a lot of serotonin that it helps promote, so it definitely helps the function of you that way as well. And they also recommend this for breastfeeding mothers. As you know, the demand for a breastfeeding mother is quite a lot of protein is involved, and a lot of things that it needs as nutrients that will be passed on to the breastfeed. It also improves the quantity and the quality of the feed as well. So that's a kind of also an interesting thing. It also helps improve the estrogen. So even people who are going through, PMS, women who are reaching that age of menopause, this is something that they can actually have in their diet. It's something that will definitely act as a great contributor because, as you know, when your estrogen levels go down, then there's a chance that you will start getting into a zone of osteoporosis. So not only does this help get your estrogen up, it also has a bit of calcium in it, and it's fantastic. And as far as the zinc component is concerned, it's known to definitely improve the libido. I mean, it's now becoming more evident that zinc is always something that will actually help a lot of the functions in the human body. So I hope you enjoyed this topic, and I hope you're going to run down to the store or the local market and go and grab those moringa leaves. And trust me, you can find a whole lot of recipes to make it. If you don't know how to make it, it's quite simple. You can kind of stir fry it like you would do a spinach or a palak, and you can start with that. But of course, it is going to be slightly more bitter than just about any other leafy vegetable that you might have had. So you're going to have to experiment, look at a few recipes that are out there, plenty of them out, and you can try them. And it's not really expensive, though it might be a little hard to find because they usually you won't find them on your door delivery apps. They're tough to get that. But once you do find a good source, or if you have a tree in your own house, fantastic, you can actually make use of it. So I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this topic, and more to come in the weeks ahead. So thank you.